a brand new Kindle Fire tablet, the new Fire TV, and even same-day delivery drones. It's been a major year for Amazon, and this past week they've added yet another product to their homegrown lineup, the new Fire phone. Amazon no longer just sells phones, they now make them as well. In an announcement this week that everyone's been anticipating basically forever, Jeff Bezos officially announced Amazon's first smartphone, the Fire phone, this Wednesday. Without a doubt, one of the most ambitious projects ever undertaken by the company. Now, as I said, this announcement is not a surprise whatsoever because we have been hearing rumours for years, but it is nice to finally see the device in reality. The Fire phone has a 4.7-inch 720p display that's apparently bright enough to read books outside on. It has Gorilla Glass on both sides, a dedicated camera button, stereo speakers, a quad-core Qualcomm processor, and 2GB of RAM. The phone runs a custom forked version of Android, exclusive to Amazon's devices that doesn't have access to the Google Play Store. This mightn't be to everyone's tastes, but the device is said to have a very solid build, and Amazon is even working on a new pair of earbuds, available later this year, that apparently won't ever tangle. We'll see how true that is. There's also a 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization that Bezos claims will take better pictures than an iPhone 5S or a Galaxy S5, no matter what situation it's in. That's one bold claim, but from the looks of it, he might just be right. But you gotta admit, free unlimited cloud storage is a pretty sweet perk. Something that really caught my attention during the presentation was Firefly, a service that will recognise basically anything it can see or hear and give you more information about it. So coming from a company like Amazon with over 100 million items in their database, that's really going to come in handy. But the Fire phone's most interesting feature, and the one that everyone's talking about, is the new dynamic perspective, a sort of 3D-like effect that uses 4 cameras on the front of the phone to track your head and sort of change what you see on screen depending on what angle you're looking from. Now, this is something we really haven't seen on any other smartphone in the market so far. The closest thing I could think of would be the Nintendo 3DS, but supposedly this isn't 3D in the traditional sense where things pop out. Instead, it kind of creates depth in the other direction, so inwards. In a lot of things shown off in the presentation, dynamic perspective right now might seem like a gimmick to most people, and until developers really take advantage of it with the new SDK, it kind of is. The best use of the technology I've seen so far is being able to tilt the phone to scroll through a web page or an ebook, but do we really need such an elaborate setup that will definitely use a lot of battery power just for a new way to scroll? Thanks, but I'd rather stick with using my fingers, to be honest. So in the future we could see some more interesting uses of dynamic perspective. It's certainly not a feature to be brushed aside, but in my opinion, I don't think it's a feature we really need in a new smartphone right now. With 4 front-facing cameras on the front to track your head, and then a standard front-facing camera for taking pictures, and then a back camera, of course, that means the phone has 6 cameras on it. That's kind of overkill, in my opinion, and it kind of makes the front of the phone look kind of strange. At the end of the day, the Fire phone is really just designed for someone who's neck deep in Amazon services, so just like any other phone nowadays, you're just buying into an ecosystem. So if you buy a Nexus or an iPhone, you're just buying into Google's ecosystem or Apple's ecosystem or whoever. There's no doubt the Fire phone, starting at $199 on contract, is more of a mid-range smartphone when you compare the hard specs, but it'll be available on AT&T in the US starting July 25th if you want to pick one up. In my opinion, it's a pretty standard looking slab device, but with a great high-res camera, Firefly, and features like dynamic perspective, Amazon have caught people's attention. Whether or not other manufacturers want to copy, I'm not sure. This may have been a major announcement for Amazon, but in the greater scheme of things, I think there's a lot more out there right now to be excited about. So that's my quick opinion on the new Amazon Fire phone. Don't forget to leave your opinions in the comments below. I read all your comments and I'll always try to reply if I can. As always, make sure and subscribe if you're not subscribed already with this button right here. Click it, and I'll see you guys next weekend with a brand new video. Follow me on Twitter at DanWantsTech for more, and I'll see you guys in about 6 or 7 days time. I'm not sure, but I'll see you then. This isn't 3D in the traditional sense that 3D pops out at you. This is kind of more of a